Okay, so let's go ahead and activate and deactivate the other rifles or weapons as well. So in the update method, as we did for the first weapon, okay, we use the one key. Okay, now let's do it for the second weapon, and that weapon will use the second key as well of the keyboard, or you can say the 2 key. So we will say if input dot get key down 2. Okay, and then let's add the condition. So if all of the weapons are false, okay, so copy that from there. So if all are false and the is weapon 2 picked is equals to true. Okay, if the player picked up the second rifle and all of the rifles are deactivated, and if then the player presses the 2 key, then we will activate the second rifle. Okay, so in order to do that, we will say is weapon to active, let set it to true, and then we will call the is rifle active method, and that will be it. Then we will add a else if, in which we will say that if this second button is pressed again and this time the is weapon 2 active is true, okay, then we will deactivate it. So for deactivating, we will say is weapon 2 active equals to false, and we will call the is rifle active method again right here in the else if as well, just as we did for the first weapon. Okay, now in the is rifle active, now we need to add the if conditions again. So in the same way as we did for the first one, let's do it for the second one. So we will say if is weapon 2 active is true, okay, then we will activate the script for the weapon 2, and also we will show the weapon 2 in the player hands. So for showing it in the player hands, we will say start coroutine weapon 2 go, weapon 2 go. Okay, make sure that you name it right here, weapon 2 go. Now we need to create this weapon 2 go as well. So let me copy the weapon 1 go, paste it down below, change this to 2, this one as well, and right here do the changes accordingly. Okay, change it to as weapon 2 and weapon 2 weapon 2. Okay, and now when we activate the rifle in the player hand, okay, we also want to activate the rifle script. So for that we will say rifle dot get component, we want to get the rifle script. Okay, and we want to enable that, so we will set it to true. And after setting the script to true, we also want to activate the rifle animation state machine as well. So for that we will say anime dot set pool, we want to set the rifle active to true. Okay, then after this, let's copy this if condition, paste it down below, and we will say if now the is weapon 2 active is set to false, then in that case what we will do, we will deactivate the rifle in the player hand. Okay, and then we will deactivate the script as well, so set it to false, and also we will deactivate the animations as well. Okay, we will get back to locomotions again, so set it to false as well. And that is it for the weapon 2. Okay, now we will add it for the weapon 3 and 4, and then after that we will test it out. Okay, so let's scroll up right here to the top. Let's simply copy this if and else if condition. Okay, gives one space, one line space right there. Then we will say that if the 3 button is pressed, all of the weapons are not active and the is weapon 3 is picked. Okay, then what we will do, we will activate the weapon 3. So is weapon 3 active equals to true, and we will call is rifle active. Then if we press the change this to 3, so if the 3 button is pressed and the is weapon 3 active is true, okay, so if it is true then we will set it to false. Okay, if it is already true then we will set it to false, or you can say we will deactivate it. Okay, then on the is rifle active right here, let me copy this to if conditions, which is for the weapon 2. Okay, give one line space, paste it, and change this to weapon 3, and in this if condition change it to weapon 3, and right here weapon 3, and right here as well. Then let me remove this. Okay, and first of all let's create this weapon 3 go. So if we copy this weapon 2 go, give one line space, change it to weapon 3, 3 right here as well, 3 right here and right here. Okay, so we have weapon 3 go now set up right there. Okay, and we call it right here as well. Now let's activate the weapon 3 script. So as you know, that will be the bazooka script. So we will say bazooka dot get component. We want to get the bazooka script. Okay, the B will be capital, and we will say dot enabled equals to true. Also we want to play the animation for the bazooka, so we will say anime dot set bool. Okay, and we want to play the bazooka animation, so we will say bazooka active, and let's set it to true. Then when the player deactivate the third rifle, then what we will do, we will simply disable the script and don't play the animation, so set it to false. That is it for the weapon 3. Now let's add the weapon 4. So if we scroll up, copy this weapon 3 if and else if condition, give one line space, okay, paste it, okay, right here, change this now the button to 4 right here as well, change it to 4 if all of the weapons are false. Okay, and the weapon 4 picked is true. Okay, then we will active the weapon 4. Okay, and then if the weapon 4 is already active, then we will deactivate the weapon 4. Okay, so just change this to 4 4 4 and right here to 4 as well. Okay, it is simple as that. Then on the is rifle active in here, let's copy this if condition for the weapon 3. Okay, give one line space, paste it, change this now to 4, this one to 4 as well, remove this from here as well, and change this to 4 and this one to 4 as well. Okay, so 4 4 4 and 4. Then let's create weapon 4 go. So let's copy this, paste it down below. Okay, change it to 4 right here as well, right here as well. Okay, since the method is the same, so we'll be just changing the name. Okay, and when you change the names, get back right here. So now when the weapon 4 is active, then what we want to do, we want to activate the grenade thrower script. So we will say grenade thrower dot get component. We want to get the grenade thrower script, then we will say dot enabled equals to true, and we don't need to set any of the animation, since on the grenade thrower, when the script is active and if we press the mouse button, then it plays the throw animation and throw the grenade. Okay, so we just need to activate the script for it, and right here we will be needing to deactivate that script, so set it to false. Okay, so everything is set up, okay, for all of the 4 weapons. Let's save the script, get back to Unity. Let's click on the player. As you can see, everything is set up. Let's play the game, and you can now notice these values changing. Okay, so now as you can see, if we press the 1 2 3 4, as you can see, none of the rifle is being active. If we now active the fighting mode, as you can see, the fist fight mode is active. Okay, the player can perform fighting modes. Okay, now it is deactivated. Let's pick up the sword. Okay, so the sword is picked up. Now if you press the one button, okay, let's press the one button right here. As you can see, the sword is active, and if we press it again, it is deactive. And if we active it and press the two button, as you can see, we don't pick up the weapon 2, so it is not activating. And even if we picked it up and one of the rifle is active, then as you know, according to our condition, we can't change like that. We first need to deactivate the currently activated weapon, then we will be able to activate the other one. Okay, so for now I will not be testing the other rifles because we didn't remove the code from the scripts. Okay, so if you open up the rifle script, then also open up the bazooka script, and then the grenade thrower script. So right here, as you can see, we have comment this code out. Now uncomment this code. Okay, because now when the grenade throw script is active and if we press the mouse button, it will throw a grenade. Okay, and if we check the bazooka script, okay, right here in the bazooka script, we don't need to do any changes, and in the rifle script as well. So just simply uncomment this code from the grenade thrower script and you will be good to go. Okay, now let's save the game, and now let's test all of the weapons one by one. Okay, so if we play the game, and also when the game is being played, click on player. Okay, here is all of the weapons. Let's pick them up. 1 2 3 4. As you can see, weapon 1 2 3 4 is now being picked. Okay, and now if we pick out the first weapon, as you can see, it is picked out the first weapon. If you press the 2 button, as you can see, it is not activating that because the weapon 1 is already active. So if we deactivate that and then press the 2 button, as you can see, the player puts out the rifle. And if we now try to shoot using the rifle, since the rifle script and animation is activated, as you can see, okay, now if we try to shoot, as you can see, the player can shoot as well. Okay, now let me deactivate the second rifle. Let's activate the third one. Okay, as you can see, this is the bazooka. Now if we remove the bazooka, let's activate the weapon 4, which is the grenade. As you can see, the grenade is in the player hand. Okay, now if we try to throw the grenade, for example, right there, as you can see, there is the grenade. Okay, my game just lags, okay, since the blasting thing is a bit heavy, I think. Now let me test it out again. Okay, so there is the grenade. Now as you can see, it is showing everything perfectly fine, and if you see in the minimap camera, it is showing the blast effect in the minimap camera as well. Okay, as you can see. Okay, so now we can throw grenades and activate and deactivate the rifles. Okay, so it means that now our inventory is working perfectly fine. Now we just simply needs the UI for the inventory, okay, to show the picked up weapons inside our inventory, and also which weapon is active. We will be creating a small menu for that active weapon, and we will be showing that active weapon right here as well. Okay, so in the next video we will be focusing on our UI for our inventory.